What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Mountains!
All you ever learn is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
Goblins gone mad!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick!
I ate his liver with some fava beans and ice cream. What's this?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains. There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
What's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers? Welcome back to another episode of the Fright Flick FMK podcast. And this week, finally, the Particle brother has returned.
Particle?
Is that how you say the Particle son?
Prodigal.
Prodigal?
You said particle like I was like a fucking...
Like an atom?
Yeah, like CERN and the accelerators and shit, but
I've been
that's
saying
just
it wrong.
the gentleman. That's just the gentleman Jack talking, and at least you
It
technically used a fancier word.
It is. Hey, I don't know. I blame it on the Jack.
It's got to blame it on something. But yes, finally back. I just keep having these runs, as I was telling you earlier, and I don't even know if I mentioned it the last time we recorded. We were doing a complete house remodel. Things went fucking sideways. We were in an Airbnb for 8 weeks. There is, I guess I can say to this extent, there's a lawsuit that's in the early stages with the contractor for a lot of fucking lies and shit and stuff like that. So it's been a fucking nightmare, but we are finally, I'm finally able to do this again. So
yeah,
which is fucked up because the last time we did this, we technically did 2 in a row.
Oh, we did.
And I think you had just recently gotten past 200 subs.
Yep.
Now we're doing this again, and you're almost at 320 subs. We said we were going to do a 100 live stream.
Yeah.
Completely failed that because I was in the middle of moving at that point.
Yeah.
Then we said we were going to do it at 200, and I had this shit going on, and we can't even do it at 300 because that's already passed. I at this point, we're going to pick a future, not like 500. I think maybe 500 is a good one. We could stick to that.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, it was, when I seen I remember when we first started doing this, we were all like up in the air about, man, we were almost to 100. And I was like, hey, when we get 100, we're going to do a live show. And I'm finally going to open that bottle of
Yes. Oh God,
Frank
what was
Sinatra that's still sitting behind me right now.
Still have it.
The Frank Sinatra Jack Daniels is behind me on the video version. And it has yet to be opened. And we were like, when I get to 100, we're going to do it. And then we did that show. We went back to back, and we were almost to 200. And we were like, man, we get to 200. We're going to do that live show. We're going to pop up in that Frank Sinatra Jack Daniels. And then the moving thing with you having to remodel your house happened.
Yeah.
And now here we are, already past 300.
Yeah. And I don't even think did you even bring attention to the fact that you crossed 300?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, like it just keeps growing and growing. But no, I think it's awesome. It's probably a good thing we didn't waste that Frank Sinatra on like 100 subs. I wonder if maybe 1 or 2 people would have fucking actually joined a live stream. Like it would have probably just been you and me basically talking to each other and random people stumbling onto it, being like, the fuck is this? And how did they have 100 people subscribe to them?
And then if we would have done that 100, if we went live we would have lost followers more than likely.
Probably. I mean, that's still bound to happen now. That's why I think like five's good. And then we'll actually probably do it once you're at like about 520, 530, so that we can absorb 20 or 30 unsubs from people being like, holy fuck, that's what they're like unfiltered. Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah. Well, we'll definitely lose a few if we go live. because
yeah, but that's fine. You got to cushion it.
it's okay. It's okay. I never thought, when I started fucking around with this, that I would get to, I was willing to celebrate with a bottle of Jack Daniel's Frank Sinatra for 100.
Yeah, it's no, it's crazy, but yeah, man, like it's awesome. You're at 318, shit's popping off. The Cannibal trilogy that we did a long time ago, where we set that up. It was what Joe, my wife, did Cannibal for Rocks with you. I did Jungle Holocaust with you, and who was it?
I did Cannibal Fraught.
You did Cannibal for Rocks with Joe, but who'd you do Cannibal Holocaust with? Christine?
I'm terrible with names, dude.
I can't remember, but yeah, all three. And then we did the show where we all talked about them at the same time. But those are top three. Freaking Jungle Holocaust is over 25K.
Yeah, which is I don't even know why.
No idea. I'm trying to figure out, because I figure, like, with the massive gap between it and your second place, there's got to be something that people are searching for that's bringing it up. But the movie is called Jungle Holocaust. So I'm like, what are you searching? Yeah. Because for the longest time, Cannibal Holocaust wasn't getting pulled up. Like, in the numbers, Jungle Holocaust was just shooting up for no reason. So it's weird. But yeah, man, it's awesome. You're past 300. I'm glad to be finally doing another one of these. And yeah, glad to be somewhere semi good now, where I shouldn't have to. I'm not even going to say I shouldn't have to worry. I'm not on wood. I'm going to fucking jinx it at this point, guy. A meteor is going to fucking hit my house if I don't fucking knock on wood.
Yeah, don't fucking jinx it.
No.
Yeah, and like when you hit me up the other day, when you was texting me, like we text, here and there. But when you text me, like, hey man, you think we want to do a show next week? And I was like, oh shit, like, are we gonna do this?
Are we back? Like, yeah.
Are you fucking with me right now?
No. And like I said, I was, and I mean, like, I if anyone sees your logo and stuff, I got like a little green screen thing, because like we're still doing remodel shit. So like my whole like office setup is gone. It's different now. So yeah, it'll be different. Hopefully going on, but yeah, maybe I'll just keep this. So no matter what happens behind me, this will stay constant. And I'll just rotate it out. But yeah, so yeah, dude, I'm stoked to be finally doing one of these again. And this was a good suggestion, because I had completely spaced on this movie. I guess if we can go ahead and talk about it. I mean, everybody already knows, it's in the fucking title of the video when they click on it, but Where the Devil Roams, because the Addams Family, that's with 1D.
Yep.
What was the movie I have seen was Hellbender.
Yeah.
And that's the only one I've seen. And I meant to check out The Deeper You Dig.
Because I covered on this show, I actually did Hellhole.
Yes, well, they just did one, apparently, I guess, that's came out or coming out, called Mother of Flies.
Yep, 2025 is coming out.
Yes. But Hellhole came out last year. I haven't watched that one yet. But this was the one right after Hellbender. And I actually remember enjoying Hellbender.
I did too.
Yeah, so it was cool. I had completely spaced on this one, but yeah, man. I mean, this one, if you're ready to hop in, I'm ready to talk about it, because this one was different even for Hellbender.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm excited to kind of hear where you stand on this one. But like you said, Where the Devil Roams, 2023 flick.
Yes.
Little IMDb real quick, family. Traces a family of murderous sideshow performers as it travels around the world on the dying carnival circuit. And like John said, this is the Addams family. John Addams, Zelda Addams, Toby Poser, Lulu Addams. It's a family show. If you've followed their movies, their music and stuff like that, it's a family affair.
So I did not even realize that Lulu Addams was in this, and her title is Axe Girl.
Yeah, the Axe Girl.
Yeah, so I didn't know. I remember, because they actually, they were on Joe Bob Briggs, The Last Drive-In. Mm-hmm. But I can't remember if that's where I watched Hellbender. If I watched it like on his show, it probably was. But they had said that they had other kids, but I believe in Hellbender it was just the mom and the dad and Zelda, who is in this one, who played Eve in this movie. But yeah, I didn't know. So yeah, it looks like, I guess they're another one of their daughters got in on it too. So
she's the oldest daughter.
Oh, is she?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got you. But yeah, because they even performed music live at the end of the episode. If anybody has Shudder, The Last Driving with Joe Bob Briggs, fucking great show. A,
yeah.
B, there. I believe it is for Hellbender that he had, and he actually had them on. And like they talked about the movie the whole time, and they actually did they performed one of their songs at the end of it as well.
Yeah, and so like when you had hit me up about wanting to do another show, this one had been on my list to do Where the Devil Roams, because when I seen Hellbender, I had ordered this one. I actually have the Blu-ray.
Okay.
Yeah, this
nice.
Yeah, it's the nice little slip cover, you know.
Yeah, I like that. I like the cover art too. It looks very like 70s, like kind of folk horror, kind of thing. Gives me like Wicker Man vibes.
Yep. And so like when I was, watching, I'd watched Hellbender. Because like I told you all before, family, I'm newer to the horror side of things. And Hellbender I'd watched. And when I watched Hellbender, I was a fan, and I was kind of looked up, who was in it, because I was such a fan of Toby Poser. Like, I like her, man.
Which is so weird, because if anybody has watched this show and knows the kind of guy you are, that is the kind of broad that in real life you would she on the surface, the look, and she's kind of like she just looks like your typical, because they talked about this on Joe Bob Briggs that like, the husband, what's his first name?
John.
So John Adams, if you look at them, they look mismatched. Right? Like, not that no homo fan, but we can say this. John Adams is a pretty good looking guy. And in there, it actually talked about that he did modeling when he was younger, like traveled to Europe and shit, was like a big shit. And she's like this grungy punk girl who came up in like the punk scene. So like, you just know, like, she's just, spitting teeth and fucking bar brawling, like two worlds colliding.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed her in there, and it is kind of weird. It's weird to see them even on screen together, but like if you watch that episode, like them in real life, it's even more. And I think it get brought up because I think Joe Bob mentioned something about like how mismatched like their pasts were, and they talked about it and stuff like that. But yeah, that's interesting that you like her. Out of all three, I figured you would have liked her the least.
No, the Hellbender I watched, and I like her. She's got this, I don't know, this
she has a presence to her.
It is, but it's almost like this Mama Bear type presence, to where it's like, I don't know. It's just like this. It's a mom thing with her.
She does seem like if you were like in high school with Zelda, that like she would be the cool mom. Yeah. That like she knew you guys were like smoking pot out back, but she didn't say shit. Like, or something like that.
Yeah. The super cool mom, and but she's also got this like that little mama bear side of her, but then she's also got this where you're kind of scared of her at the same time.
Yeah. She can put an intense gaze out of her eyes. Like she's not some like real feminine woman, like just even as a human, a Toby Poser, like you could just kind of get that presence. Like she can hold her own. Yep. But yeah, like, so this one, this is the only, like I said, this is only the second film from them I watched. I know I've seen the trailer for Hellhole. So I know that like if anyone's never seen anything from them, and again, as we always say, spoiler alerts, and no matter what review we give it, you should definitely check this out. Support independent horror, A, and B, views are subjective. So we may both kill this thing, and it may be one of your favorite ones ever. So give it a shot. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. You've got time.
Yeah.
But they're certainly on the more like artsy,
yeah,
experimental, which I get why you were like, I kind of want to get your take on it because that's more in the shit that I get down with. I'm a guy who physically owns Skinamarink, and like that movie actually fucking unnerved me. Like I don't like that movie. That movie freaks me out, dude. It's weird. But so with this one though, it's still there you could tell it's the same people there, but like in this one, so it's in the Depression era.
Yeah, like around the 30s.
Yes, but it's weird because there's people that are clearly very alternative today with the tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
They're part of a carnival, so that at least makes sense. Because I remember there was one I saw earlier, and I didn't know they were at the carnival yet. It was the chick that was fully tattooed, like had the face tattoos and everything like that. And when she first came on, I was like, why the fuck are they trying to pass off that there's a girl who looks like this in the fucking 30s? Well, then it finally cuts to that they're at the carnival, and I was like, oh, okay, she's the tattooed lady. There we go.
She was Rocky. Rocky was her name.
Rocky, there we go. Yes.
Razor the Rockefeller.
That's who plays
Rocky. Razor
the Rockefeller. Why do I feel like that was, I wonder, I don't want to be insulting to him. Is it a drag?
She ain't drag.
Oh, okay. Her IMDb credits include tattooed hookup on the TV series 21st Century Demon Hunter in 2018 and this movie in 2023. But yeah, so they're a part of this like traveling Depression era circus.
Yep.
And they're I guess, okay, hold on. I got to pull my notes up. So how do you want to start this? Because I'm worried that I'm going to tip my hat. Maybe I should let you kind of just start bringing in, like, talking about the actual plot. Because we kick off, there's a guy who's giving, like, a speech in a theater. It's in black and white. And that was where I first kind of got put on, like, well, why does he look like this? Because this was not a theater. This was like a fancy theater setting at the opening. And this guy's got, like, facial tattoos and piercings, and it's clearly done on a green screen. There was one shot that I don't know why it was in there. Did you notice it where it like cuts him off at the thighs?
No, he doesn't have legs below the knees. The real guy doesn't.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Then my bad on that, because I was literally like, these are very competent filmmakers. Why the fuck did they do this? Like, I literally thought that's what was going on.
His name is, that. He's the master of ceremonies. His name is Justin Julio.
Okay.
He actually does not have below the knees. He walks that way in real. He has a wheelchair.
Got you.
Stuff like that.
So, okay. But it was kind of weird, at least because, again, it opens with this. There's no credits or nothing. And he's doing this poem. There's a poem called Where the Devil Roams, and it plays a huge part into this. It's technically like a mantra, curse, spell kind of thing. And he's reading the entirety of it, but he's in like a fancy 1920s theater. There's a big, you can tell the audience is fancy dressed. He's in a tux. But again, before you even tell that he has, missing legs, you can tell that he has like piercings, and then there's facial tattoos. And again, I just found that kind of weird, because if it had been at the carnival, okay. But like, it kind of at first kind of took me aback, like, okay, what's going on? But then it cuts to the credits really quick, like some names, and then it just cuts to a room.
Yep.
and of course, when this happened, I just went, okay, fucking here we go. All right. Yeah. Fuck whatever that was. Here we go. So there's parents on the floor, and there is just this little girl
stabbing away, dude.
What was it? An ice pick?
Ice pick, yeah.
Yeah.
You hear the noise in the background. You can hear like little squishy noise.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's just like a repeated, like she's just on their back, like basically just fucking the same wound up over and over with this thing. I can't remember. Maggie was the girl that was not doing that originally, correct?
Yeah, Maggie is the girl under the table.
Yeah, and that's who Toby Poser is in the movie.
Yes. Yeah, that's Maggie under the table kind of watching it.
Yes.
And it kind of makes you think like, okay, is he going to like kill the whole family? Like, is he coming after Maggie too?
Right, because it was her older sister that was doing it.
Yeah.
And she's clearly the younger. And yeah, like you kind of get that vibe, like, okay, like, and when she's kind of walking up on her, you're like, oh, fuck. But then part of me is like, oh shit, no, they're not. No. Like,
I thought we was about to get a fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Right then.
No, but she hands the ice pick off to Maggie and then just walks off. And then you hear the mom kind of like pleading with Maggie not to do it. And Maggie just straddles up on mom's back, gets full mount on her.
And just happy as she can be.
And then boom, where the devil roams. And so that was immediately like hooked me right back in. And then we're finally starting to see everybody at the carnival at this point, if I'm right.
Yeah, it starts getting into and you start kind of figuring out like they're part of this carnival. And it's a very, like this is the 30s. This is the Depression, everybody scraping for a dime, trying to get by. And you can tell like this carnival is just broke ass.
Yeah. They're hanging on by a fucking thread.
Yeah. And
nobody's doing well.
Yeah. And because I still, the part where it shows them like for the first time on stage doing their performance. And it's like,
which is really weird.
Yeah. And you got Eve, she starts singing. You got mom and dad. No, and you got Maggie and Seven. Seven
is John Adams.
John Adams plays Seven. That's the dad. And they're kind of standing there, and like you can tell, like while they're performing, people are kind of looking at it, and they're just kind of like walking off. Like
they're like just like how I was watching it. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Because it was like interpretive dance moves that Maggie and Seven are doing, and Eve is singing, but it's real low, and it's very creepy. The whole fucking carnival's creepy, by the way. Like, let's go ahead and say that. Like, maybe they're not doing well because that was another thing that was kind of like, I guess, like to the aesthetic as well, because like the carnival has a lot of horror elements to it. Basically, everybody that works there is fucking creepy. When the clowns are putting on their oil makeup, it looks like that movie Dead Presidents, where they're like solid white. They almost look like they're about to be Juggalo painted. Like it's just solid white and then black.
Yeah.
Like clowns are creepy to begin with, but these look like dangerous. Like they're going to rob you. There's the Japanese lady that only speaks Japanese, but everyone seems to understand her. And then just everyone's all tattooed. It looks like a horror carnival. And then the family keeps bringing up getting on the Buffalo horror show.
Yeah.
It's like this big, what would they call it?
It's like going
multiple acts.
It's like going to that's like major leagues for them.
Yes, that's the big show.
They're down there playing like AAA ball right now.
Yes,
and they're trying to get to the big leagues. And this Buffalo horror show.
Yeah, apparently they're all trying to get to it because all of them. Like I said, everybody here is creepy. The whole fucking thing's creepy.
Yeah,
and then
it was because I knew they were really struggling. Was that after the singing was over? It's like that's not just their one job, because after they were trying to sing, next thing you know, we got Maggie's over there like 3 balls for a nickel, just trying to
knock the cats down.
Yeah, and so she's trying to part of the show, but you're seeing it, and I'm just like, as I'm watching, I'm going, man, this has to be like back then you had to be just rolling into like little small ass towns.
Oh,
and so
I mean, and there's such an oddity with the way that they would look and vibe, and they're so unprepared. Like it's not a circus. Like I don't, unless I'm wrong, I don't remember seeing like any exotic animals.
No,
ever. Like it was like weird. It was like we have a tattooed woman. We have people that sing weird, and then there's Mr. Tips. But yeah, like it's almost like everybody. It's almost like the stage is an open mic night. Like you run a game, and then like we'll give you 3 minutes to do whatever the fuck you want up here, and then go get back to your booth and keep making money. It's like I said, the whole vibe is weird. And then, but that's where we finally meet Mr. Tips.
And you come to find out that anybody that comes to the show is there for Mr. Tips.
Yes, he is the main attraction, and he gets on stage, and it sounds like he's doing like this prayer psalm. Maybe it sounds biblical.
Yeah.
And the way he's doing it, and motherfucker just snips all of his fingers off into a bucket. They make a loud thunk, and he doesn't even wince.
No. That's the reason they call him Mr. Tips, because the
Yeah.
motherfucker cuts the tips of his fingers off on one hand, you know.
And that's his act. And once he was done, he picked up his bucket of fingers.
Yep.
This old tetanus ridden metal fucking bucket that he clipped his fingers off into. And then later it cuts to, because everyone's trying to figure out, like, because they're talking about it later, like, how does he do it? Someone's like, well, he's a magician. That's what he does. And then I think it was Rocky that was like, no, like they say that he has a deal with the devil and all this other stuff. Well, then Eve like goes in to his room and he's got his fingers in, I guess, what's like formaldehyde, some sort of cleansing or preservative. And that's when he shows her how he does it. Because, and I didn't pick up on this at first. It took me a while to realize that Eve can't talk.
Yeah,
she can sing, but she can't talk. So it was kind of, at first I was like, why the fuck are you telling her this insanely good secret? Well, she can't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And he shows her, he's got like this box. Is it a heart?
It's a heart, because if you listen to the poem in the beginning, or the our dude, the master of ceremonies, basically the devil met the love of his life. But when God pulled him back down to hell, God left his love to die, wither away. Yes. And all that was left was some bones and the heart. Well, then the heart the next day revived itself. So basically the whole thing was, with this heart, could basically piece back together.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so the thing with the heart was that you find out Mr. Tips is the heart has, throughout all these years, because Mr. Tips tells the story of how he came across this heart. He tells the story about how when he was little, you know, his mom or whatever let him go to the circus, and he met this dude that could like cut himself and hurt himself and then show up the very next day and everything's good.
Yeah, he was like obsessed with going to the circus when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Because that's when he was talking about like all the accidents that he had seen. Because he was saying that he had like seen a lion attack a little girl. He saw an acrobat fall and stuff like that. And that's when he brought up that he had seen that guy. And I forget exactly what he said that he would do, but he was like, but then he was there again. I saw him come back again. Like he was surviving it. And that's when he found out the secret, and he took the heart, and in the heart, there's like a sewing needle and there's a spool of thread. And if he sews his fingers back on, and he has to do that "Where the Devil Roams" poem or whatever, that's like the spell.
He said basically that little spell that he would say about the devil roams would basically keep God asleep.
Yes, yeah, that was how he referred to it.
Yeah, and it wouldn't let God know what he's doing. So he would have to recite that little poem whenever he's doing it. And he also told her, he was like, you know, I just do the tips. He doesn't go overboard with it. He just cuts his fingertips off, sews them right back on, and reads my little poem, and I keep doing this. And so it's like his way of saying, like, you know, I don't go overboard with it. I don't take it for granted. I just enough.
Yeah.
To keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, not to tempt fate, not to ruin a good thing. So he tells her that. Well, then we cut over, and Seven he's gambling with the two clowns from earlier, the fucking Depression era juggalos. And
Pepper and Sully, I believe, are the clowns.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. And then some other guy is playing with them. Well, Seven just keeps winning.
Yeah.
And one of them accuses him of being a cheat, and they're saying, hey, he's not cheating, and this and this, and then a fight ensues. Well, when it happens, Seven like goes in like he's about to have a seizure, like he rolls back in his mouth, he like locks up though. Well, then Maggie has to come in and like stop it up, because I was like, Seven just locked up either from seeing blood or from seeing violence, because I couldn't tell what triggered it exactly. And then it cuts back. So this was one of the most glaring problems that I had with it. And it could be that I'm not, and my eldest cub could educate me on this. So it cuts. At this point, you then see Seven. He's having a war flashback. You find out that he was an army doctor.
Yep.
Now, this is the Depression. The Depression era was 29 through the 30s, right? So it had to be World War I.
It was.
And I could be right. If everyone can tell me, did the Nazis, did the tech that Germany used in World War One and the way they looked, did it look so that much similar to World War Two? Because I kept several times being like, is that a Nazi? Because it's not supposed to be a Nazi, but it looked like a Nazi. And I know those wars happened close enough together. And it's not my strong suit, like the fucking fashion of Germany in World War One and Germany in World War Two. But even the tank and stuff that was in the scene looked like a Nazi, like one of the Nazi panzers. And so I don't know, because I kept looking for that too, because it's a period movie, right? But it's also an indie and a very independent movie. Period movies tend to be expensive. You that shit doesn't exist anymore. So you have to rent it from somebody who's preserved it and stuff like that. They had some old cars in this that were very good. So I kept kind of looking, because sometimes things would look like they weren't quite right for the period. Just certain way that houses would look on the outside or something like that. And again, it's something that not everybody's going to do, but it kept bringing that up. Did you ever feel like sometimes, like, is he fighting Nazis?
No, because
okay. Do you? Well, you served, so maybe you know better.
But for me, it wasn't. I didn't get caught up in how things looked.
And you shouldn't have. I'm not correct for doing that. It just happened.
I looked at it like, okay, when I seen the part where those two clowns get in a fight, and as soon as that blood splats on his face and he kind of zones out, and then
because it does hit him in the face.
Yeah,
that's right.
The blood gets on him, and then all of a sudden we get that shot back at war. It's World War One. And I'll do a quick little plug right here for the Blu-ray. Blu-ray right here. People, if you own physical media, be able to hold it in your hand like this. As you should. There's a little, some of you might not know this. Some of you young streamer only people. But when you get a Blu-ray, every now and then they'll drop a little something called bonus content.
Oh yeah.
And on this good little Blu-ray right here, Where the Devil Roams, there's a little tab when you put it in your little player. Bonus. There's a behind the scenes, the making of Where the Devil Roams.
Okay. Because I don't own this one. This is the first time I've watched it.
Yeah. Okay. And the behind the scenes making of this is worth the price for that alone.
Okay.
Because it's not just a quick little 5-minute little, no, this is a very detailed.
It's almost like its own documentary movie.
Yes.
And I love that shit. That's that's the best thing about physical media. You don't get that kind of stuff.
And it was funny because you were making the comments about the tanks and the old cars. Little spoiler right here. The tank they used in that scene was a little model tank about 8 inches long.
Oh, and they just did perspective shots and stuff.
The dude that goes into how he made it work.
That's awesome.
All the cars, only one of those cars in the movie was a real legit car, and that was the one they were driving
in. That makes sense.
And that car belonged to John Adams' dad.
Gotcha.
And so get the Blu-ray.
Now I even more so want to just to watch that, because again, and I think it was because of the opening, and again, it was one of those, because like I said, there was nothing, if you don't know anything about the movie, that it's even taking place with a carnival, you know, this guy just his face does not belong in this era that they're trying to portray. And so that's the kind of stuff that I'll get stickler for, because one of my things when it comes to indie that I'll tell anybody, don't ever shoot for more than you can afford. Like if you can't afford it, everyone's gonna know. And but so when I saw that, I was like, okay. And then I was like, all right, well, maybe they just did that. And then so it was just little stuff like that I kept noticing throughout. So I'm probably going to pull the trigger on the Blu-ray just so I can watch that and kind of see more of it, because I love to be surprised and I love to be wrong when it comes to shit like that. Because again, that's why I said, like, I don't know enough about how they're supposed to look. Maybe they did look pretty similar. I know, like I said, the wars weren't that far apart.
Yeah, because even in the behind this, like the making of it, she made the comment Toby did about it being World War One. because she even made the comment like, we can't call them Nazis because they're not really Nazis
No,
in
they're
World
just
War One. They're
Germans.
just Germans, so, but yeah, like when that scene, when the flashback happened, I've been in the military. So when I seen it, I'm like, oh, I bet it's got something to do with like a PTSD type thing.
Right.
And then when it shows the scene to where he's a medic, comes up on this soldier, he's injured. The kid just like his arm's fucked up. He's just like
that arm. And I'll go ahead and say this, pretty good practical effects throughout.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say pretty good, there was like one or two where I think they may have used some digital for some blood splatter. And particularly when it's been practical the whole time, as soon as a digital blood splatter hits, I can just fucking tell. And I get why. But this one, man, because his arm looks fucked.
Yeah.
And you could tell there's like necrosis. This arm, it's got to come off.
Yeah. And so,
go ahead.
It's crazy coming like the dude, and the war has gone to shit when you're running around with a fucking hacksaw, basically knowing that all you're doing at this moment is trying to like chop limbs off, tie them up, tourniquet, whatever, just to save their life. And so, and he has to pull this saw out, and this kid is fucked up. Like his face he's got like wounds on his face, and the kid's just like cut it off, and and you see him go to work on that with that saw.
And because Seven was like, he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't have any morphine. He has nothing. He even said, he's like, I don't have my real tools.
Yeah.
So he's, and it seems, because we get more flashbacks later, I'm pretty sure he's probably like behind enemy lines. Like something went fucking wrong. So that's why he's out there doing this shit. And he's very he's underarmed for what he needs. And the kid's just like, we can't wait for it. Cause he knows like he's fucked. If they don't hurry up, the infection's gonna get him.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he starts going, he's like, can you feel that? And the kid goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
And man, he starts sawing, and they show it, and the effects look good, which was great. It's gory. They have a nice, good shot on it. It sounds gross.
And that's one thing. And that's always a plus for me in a movie is if you can, like, I get it, off screen shit.
Yeah.
And so when he started kind of feeling, he's touching it, and you tell the arm's pretty fucked up, and he's like, you feel that, and then when he pulls the saw out and starts sawing it, I'm going like, I want to see it.
Yeah, they better show it.
Yeah, and
don't just lift an arm up. Don't just lift an arm up.
Yeah, and they do give you that shot when he gets right to the end of it, because he tells him, I'm almost there. And when you see him kind of finally cut it, and he kind of picks the arm up, and old boy starts screaming, but just like that, dude, that fucking gunshot, did not see coming. No, because the whole time he's cutting it, I'm guessing there's no feeling, or he's so shell shocked something. Yeah.
He's not screaming. The guy's not screaming while he's doing it. All you hear is like Seven trying to. You hear the cutting, and Seven almost trying to like let him know he's going to be okay. But like he's like, he thinks he is feeling it, but he's not. He's not screaming. Then as soon as he sees his arm off, blood curdling scream.
Yeah.
And then boom, we wake up, and now that it was a dream. Yep. And him and Eve and Maggie are all in the bed together because they're insanely poor.
Like a little tent.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody here is basically homeless.
Yeah, it's like dirt poor, dude.
It's weird. You're homeless with a job. Like that's terrible. Like, what a terrible thing. Like, I'm homeless. I've got to start a fire and try not to freeze tonight, and also I got to be in by 9. Yep.
And it goes quickly to starting to kind of figure out, like, there's some issues with Seven. It's a PTSD thing.
Yes.
And that kind of makes sense where like the sight of the blood, because you'll see it as the movie goes on.
It keeps being a thing. And I did like that. And it was a cool little thing that kept having to play out throughout the movie. But like earlier when they're at the carnival, you see a guy signing some paperwork to someone who looks real wealthy. This is when Jay was talking about that they were hosting the 3 balls for a nickel, knock the cat over game. I guess there was a farm that one of the owners had. I guess it was probably something he had probably put up to be able to get loans to keep it going. Well, he ended up selling it to some rich guy. And after this thing, after the flashback and stuff, they're suddenly at this nice house.
Yeah.
And you see this silhouette
of Toby at the door.
Yeah, Maggie. Yeah,
Maggie. Yeah.
And you just see someone, and she's holding an axe, and it's a dope shot.
Yeah,
because she's fully shadowed.
Yep.
But it's a great silhouette, and then right when the door is about to open, she quickly sidesteps and like puts the axe right behind her back. Perfect.
Yep.
And they go in, and I guess they make this rich guy some dinner. And while he's at the table and Maggie is serving everything up, he keeps calling for his wife.
Yeah.
Wife's not answering.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, that's not good, because it so far they've shown nothing about them killing. And this is going to get me to my other problem with the movie. So they go through the dinner, and they're pissed about this guy buying the farm, and I guess because it's pretty much meaning like, yo, like they're on borrowed time as far as the carnival goes. But Maggie serves the meal and is talking to him normal.
Yeah, they got the our girl Eve goes there, puts a little record player playing, a little music playing.
Yes, she puts the music on.
The dude is sitting at but you could look at this little rich, well-to-do guy. When it shows him, he knows.
Yeah. He knows why his wife's not answering him.
Yeah, he has a look of fear.
Well, not only that, because I forgot too, he talked some shit to him right before he left
at the carnival.
He stops by their game, and he's like, "What's the
like kind of like
something about like how's this rigged or whatever, like that," and like kind of talking shit at him. So he talked to him face to face, so he knows who they are, where they're from.
Because he makes a comment to her, like when she tries to, like she's being super nice to him, and he's kind of makes a comment like, I didn't get to where I am now by like falling for this type of shit, So when they show up at his house and it shows him at the dinner table, and you got our boy, Seven sitting there, Eve sitting there, the dude has a look of fear.
Yeah.
Like he knows they are not there for a little hospitality type dinner.
No,
he knows.
Yeah. Yeah, and so then she serves everybody, serving the places, talking to him, and then while he's talking, because he's telling her, he's like, I got some nice stuff here you could take, and he stops, he's like, that I can give to you, and he's sitting there talking, and she just makes his plate, which is the last bit of food that's in that cast iron pan. She then proceeds to step behind him and unalive him brutally with that fucking cast iron pan to the head, while Eve eats, and Devin sits there eating as well, blindfolded. So he can't see, so hearing it's fine because you hear it, you know what's happening. But he's blindfolded and he's eating, and Eve's eating, and Maggie is just canoeing this motherfucker's head in with that cast iron skillet.
I did like the part though where the dude keeps calling for his wife.
Yes,
and Maggie looks at him and goes, "Oh, she spilled something in the kitchen.
That's
right. It up."
Yes.
The whole time he's have to know, like, my wife is not coming out.
Yeah. And I'm not leaving this dinner table. Like, this is over.
And then she commences to beating the brakes off of him with that iron skillet while Eve's sitting there just enjoying her dinner. And she beats this fool for a good hot second. She's like wailing on
and then it shows. I think it's because Eve, you see her in the very beginning, she takes a picture. It's like this old guy asleep outside of a store. She puts like a teddy bear on him and takes a picture. So she's kind of into photography, but you start seeing that she likes taking photographs of the victims.
Yep.
And so she takes a picture of this gaping head wound, and while she's setting it up, you could see it right there, and man, it looked good. I wonder if on those special features they talk about who did the practical effects, because again, I know these people have a decent budget for indie filmmakers, but I mean, but not anywhere what anyone would think. So again, whoever did the practical effects on this was definitely working with a tight budget, and it doesn't look like they had a tight budget at all.
The coolest part about that scene, though,
uh,
was when she's done and bloody faced Maggie goes and sits down at the table. The woman just looks fucking scary. In that one part where she's got blood kind of splattered on her and she just sits down, and it's like, this woman is the devil, man. Like
it's and I think it was like we were talking about earlier with the actress Toby Poser, because again, she's got, there's something, and it's really noticeable in this one. Her eyes can look so fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like her pupils can look almost pitch fucking black. And when she's doing these scenes, it's really helpful because it's weird. Like Maggie's really, her expression doesn't even really change while she's murdering.
No.
Like, it's not like she's like, and doing like that. No. Like, she's just, it's not even like an exciting thing. Like, oh, we have to kill this guy, so I need to kill him real quick, get that done. Like, it's nothing to her. And it's played very well. And like I said, Toby Poser can have that fucking like 100-yard stare.
Yeah.
Like she's not there. And that plays in great to somebody who's doing the killing. And then after this, it goes on a montage.
Yeah.
Of showing them, they're traveling with the carnival and they're killing people. This is where I had one of my other bigger problems with the movie. Why are they killing? Does it ever get into why they're killing? Now, we know Maggie had that happen to her in the beginning. So she, I guess we could say, got exposed when she was a little girl seeing the killing. And then, she participated in it and maybe got a bloodlust for it. And she does talk a little bit later. She had an awful upbringing. So there's that. But it doesn't really get into why Seven goes along with it or why Eve goes along with it. Like Maggie it seems like Maggie kills because she just has to kill because she's crazy. But I wonder if is Seven afraid of her? Like, but it's not. Like, he seems like he has no issues with it other than the fact that he just simply can't see it.
Because I think
Eve doesn't react to it at all. Like, Eve's mute, but we don't really get a backstory much on her. I
don't think Eve. I think Maggie was not the mother to Eve. I think
because that comes out later that Seven has an ex-wife. Like, it wasn't a death or anything like that, but apparently what happened after his war shit and the stuff he's having issues with now is PTSD. He left them or they left him, something. That's what caused the problems.
And I took the whole killing thing as I took it as the trauma she had when she was young. There was everything that happened when she killed her mother, whatever. But then I kind of took the whole thing, I looked at it when it came to Seven of being like, he just fucking loves this woman, man.
And it's just, and he does.
And it's just like, he, for better or worse, but because there's a part in it where, it goes on the killing montage thing, but the part the one that stood out to me was where they get to that one house where it had to sign up about 75 cents per night. And they go up there and she's trying to tells this lady, I want the room for the night. And the lady all of a sudden is like, what? She looks outside and she sees there's two other people in the car. And she's like, well, that's 75 cents per person.
Yeah.
And, and you can tell that in that moment, you can tell Maggie is not very educated.
Yes. And it goes through that because she talks about how she met Seven during the war.
Yeah.
And apparently, so you had volunteers who would clean up battlefields basically and shit like that. And a lot of them were nurses, but I think that's even kind of like how Salvation Army and Red Cross, some of them kind of started doing that kind of shit. So she was apparently doing that, very uneducated, but she was helping out with that. And she remembered seeing him as a doctor and she just idolized him. She talks about how there's that one scene where she's like, I ended up with the smartest doctor and
Yeah.
this and this. And he was like, Maggie, you know, I ain't nothing but some bumpkin country fucking doctor and shit like that. He wasn't any count or anything like that. But to her, he's a genius, you know, and that was the other thing that I kind of, because it gets into later why you have no idea why Maggie and her sister are killing their parents at the beginning. You learn why.
Yeah,
later.
You do. Yeah.
Yes. And if what Maggie said is true, which Maggie's crazy and a murderer, but she doesn't ever seem to be a liar. She's one of those almost seems too dumb to lie. Like she's not smart enough to even think she should. That they deserved what took place. So the only thing I could kind of rationalize was, like you said, Seven's in love with Maggie, and Seven is definitely not well. Like I don't think Seven would survive on his own.
And I think that's another thing, though, when it comes down to it, is the issues that Seven has with the PTSD and stuff like that. Maggie is his ride or die.
Yeah.
Like, Maggie will, and everybody in that fucking circus knew you don't fuck with Maggie.
Dude.
Because when they tried to accuse him in the beginning of stealing, when they were playing that card game, he's like, he's cheating. And they're like, he ain't cheating. And basically, when Maggie's name came up, boy, they all knew, like, okay, let's
we need to calm the fuck down before someone actually gets Maggie.
Seven knew that Maggie, through everything he's been through, she's accepted him, been there for him, and all his the issues he's had. Maggie has been there.
Yeah.
So Seven in his mind is like, man, this woman has been there for me through everything I have to deal with. So why am I not going to be there for her? Yeah, this may be something she has to do. She has to kill these people, maybe because it's just in her head. And the fact that she deals with Seven, he may not be killing people, but she still accepts him.
Well, and he's seen a lot of fucked up shit in the war. So, I mean, you know, but the only thing I could figure was that, like, Maggie, like, if someone kind of wronged her, or she thought someone was kind of like being mean or a bad person, she thought, like, okay, they need to die.
Yeah. And it is, and you catch that a lot, though, because
most people have not been, there was only one. And then it kind of basically comes in, and we'll get to that one, where basically Maggie killed because she's fucking stupid. She's legitimately, she's just dumb. And we'll get to that one in a second. But other than that, everybody seemed, they didn't seem to be the best of people that she was killing.
Yeah.
Even the old lady, her sign didn't say, it said 75 cents per night. It mentioned nothing about people.
Yeah.
He looked out there and thought she was going to get it over. And that's what was pissing Maggie off, because she kept saying, she's like, that's not what your sign said. Well, then she goes back to the car, and Seven's like, oh, Maggie's in a bad way. And he's like driving, and she keeps, and the customer's like, turn around. No, turn around. Like wanting to go back and kill her, but Seven won't let her.
But see, at that point is where I picked up on the fact that, you know, that this has been going on for a while now, her killing. Because in that moment because he looks out the window with even the car, and he's like, oh, there's a black cloud over Maggie right now.
Yeah, he
knew what was coming. He recognized that, okay, but then when she gets in the car and they start driving off, and she's like, we need to turn around. And you could tell in that moment that when it comes to Seven, there's a part of him that's like, man, I'm so tired of doing this. Like, let's not do this again. Let's just let me go make a fire. And
that's what that's what he was even saying. Like,
he's trying to like talk her off that edge of like, let's not do this again. Like, we've been doing this, you know.
And again, this was right after the montage, and like in the montage, they probably killed 3 or 4 different times.
Yeah,
and
so they were all shitty people, though, in their defense.
Yes, and that's what it's almost like Maggie doesn't see. And again, because of the exposure, she doesn't see death or murder. And again, you're also talking about a very simple mind as well. She doesn't see murder, I think, as extreme when it comes to some of the things that she's killing people for. She wanted to kill a lady because she was trying to do the wrong thing monetarily. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks that lady did that. That's shitty for her, but you probably don't need to fucking kill her over it.
But the one, though, that did, like that made me feel real, that I felt bad, was when the car breaks down.
Okay, so we're going to get to him.
Okay,
so I want to get to one thing first before we go to that, because that one's coming up real quick.
Okay.
And that's when they're at the fire, and Maggie keeps messing with her mouth.
Oh, the tooth.
And Seven is like, Maggie, what's wrong? And she's like, I got a tooth, and I got a tooth going bad. And he's like, you want me to look at it? And she was like, yes, it's bothering me. So he and this was, again, props to badass Toby Poser, because this next scene, he lights a fucking match and puts it into her mouth to see it. This is really happening. That's really Toby Poser's mouth. I don't know about anybody else, but put a match in your mouth. It's not going to be something you're going to feel real comfortable with.
Yeah.
But he does it, and he's like, oh, it's bad. And she wants it out. Well, and this is one of the best things with his issue. It was one of the best scenes relating to it. The scene at the dinner table where he's blindfolded, it makes it look kind of creepy. I like that. But he's got to get a tooth out of her head. He has no tools for it. And he reminds her that he was a doctor, not a dentist.
Yeah.
No tools. And she says, okay, but she wants it anyway. So it cuts, and he's blindfolded because he's about to have to see blood, and he can't see it.
Yep.
And he has what looks like a fucking crowbar.
Yeah.
A long metal spike braced into her tooth, a big chisel with a hammer.
Yep.
And he has Eve come over. He's like, you got to reach in there real quick and don't let her swallow it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And he doesn't come out, and he does it a couple more times, and they finally pull that out. And Maggie's just like, thank y'all so much for doing that. I'm gonna go lay down now and take a rest. And I was like,
yeah,
like, that would have, like, any normal person would have shit themselves and passed out from the pain the moment that he hit that thing the first
and it
time.
did come out like the first time he hit it. She like, because Eve basically has to line it up for him. She basically puts it on the tooth and holds it, and then he grabs it and then hits it. And the first time Eve looks in there, is like, nope. And she's like, and Maggie's like, do it again.
Do it again.
And she lines that spike up one more time, and when he hits her with it, like, you see the blood coming out of her mouth, and she's just like this moment of relief.
Yes.
Like,
dude, how bad must that fucking thing have been hurting to where he just chiseled? I put that as like Seven just chiseled a rotten tooth out of Maggie while blindfolded. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
And then after that, and then after that, we have another World War I dream. And this is him running, like he's running from enemies and stuff like that. This is then we kind of jump the gun, revealing about his wife, but then him and Maggie discuss that. And then they travel and they bed down in a barn for the night. They're on their way to the next carnival stop. It's like a couple of days away. This is after the montage and everything like that. So we're kind of in a lull point where they got a few days travel to get to the next stop for the carnival. They fall asleep in this barn. The farmer wakes them up. Now it's clear as fucking day, even to me. Yes, this farmer was European. No, this farmer was not German. He sounded Scandinavian. And he is. He's a fucking Norwegian.
And
he's nice. He wakes him up and it was like, hey, I've got a fire inside if y'all want to come warm up before you go on your way. It's so nice as shit, and it's going good and everything like that. And I'm trying to figure out, and this is where I got confused, because then it seems like Maggie, the whole time he's in there talking to Seven and discussing everything. By the way, he has a flag of Norway hanging up on his mantle. He discusses how much shit happened to him back home while the war was going on. And Maggie's not picking up on any of this. Maggie is picking up on the fact that he sounds European, and she looks like a caged animal the whole fucking time that him and Seven's talking. She's just wild-eyed behind him. And I'm like, why is she going to kill him? Because you know she's getting ready to kill him.
What pissed her off wasn't him until he interrupted Eve singing.
There we go. Yeah. So, because he says a line. Where was it? I thought I put it in there. No, I didn't. So it was another one where he said, so Eve he says a word and it triggers a song and Eve starts singing. And Maggie has said that Eve has this gift. And again, over time, Eve's singing improves. The daughter Zelda actually sings for the family band in real life, so she can sing. But it's real like quiet and stuff, and it just kind of gets better as it goes on. So I think that when Eve, you're right, when Eve sang, Maggie looked at it like, oh, she's like blessing. If anyone, that's my green screen. I'm sorry. There's my in process area behind me, but I'm a fucking mover in my chair. If anyone's like, what the hell is that? But yeah, you're right. I didn't even put two and two together because he does interrupt Eve and it's like, oh, that reminds me of a song my mother sang. And he starts singing this song and his eyes are closed the whole time.
Yeah. Because when he starts singing, when he cuts her off, it goes a close up of Maggie.
Yes.
Maggie's kind of eyes kind of squint and you see her head turn like, did you just cut off my baby girl?
Yeah. Not her song.
Shit.
And so he's singing with his eyes closed. Well, then Seven closes his eyes. And I think Maggie took that as him giving her the go ahead because now I'm not going to see it. But I think he was kind of vibing in the moment.
He was
and
enjoying the moment.
She goes to the fireplace right underneath his flag of Norway and grabs a fire poker and runs it through his fucking throat from behind, killing him. And Seven, he doesn't even seem that crazy. Maggie, why'd you go and do that? Can't stand Germans.
Yep.
Maggie, he wasn't a German. And she was like, from Norway. Ain't that part of Germany or something?
Yeah, like, is that close to Germany? Like,
yeah, he's like, no. And then it's just kind of like, oh, and they're just like, that's our Maggie. Like,
yeah, it's like that whole, it could have been, yeah, just like you said, like, well, that's Maggie for you, because it was kind of funny. Like when he made the comment, like, and she's like, and she made the line, like, was that close to Germany? But it was like, she cut off. It's like you said, he cut off for singing. Seven. Yes. Like, did you not hear him cut off our baby girl?
Yeah. He made her stop singing and he possibly was from somewhere near Germany. That's grounds for death.
He didn't talk like us.
It is. Yeah.
He didn't talk like us.
Yeah. Straight Kendrick Lamar, dude. Like, they not like us. So I'm getting the fire poker.
Yeah.
So then they have the automobile issue.
Yeah.
Where it runs hot. And they walk up to this nice house out in the countryside.
This part made me mad. I was mad.
This did. So Seven approaches. It's a radiator issue, and I didn't know this. I guess the way they were back then, a garden hose. He could fix it with that, and he sees one that's leaning up against this guy's shed and goes and knocks on the door. I think Maggie just wanted to take it, if I'm remembering right. But he's talking to the guy and he tries to be very nice. And he's like, hey, we're having this. And I see you have that hose over there. If I could just cut a piece of it off, that would be more than enough to repair me. And he's like, oh, yeah, there's this other farmer 5 miles. Now, and it's winter, by the way.
Yeah. Snow on the ground, people.
There's snow.
Yeah.
5 miles he can go there and he would know more about that stuff because this man is entertaining while his wife is out of town.
He's got his side piece there.
Yes, he does. And he can't be helping these people, which again was so stupid because even then money came into it because Seven again says, he says, he's like 5 miles there, 5 miles back. He had told him earlier that he had walked a mile. He's like, we broke down about a mile from here. He's like, so 5 miles there, then 5 miles back here, then another mile there. He's like, and by this point, it's like probably what? 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's gonna be dark.
That's what he said. Like it's gonna be night and it's really cold. And he's like, if you'll just let me do that, he's like, I promise I'll pay you double what it's worth. So wasn't even asking for charity, and this guy was still trying to send them off.
Yeah.
Well, that did not sit well with Maggie because it just suddenly cuts, and he is fucking head blown open in a chair, and you see like the hips down of 2 women laying in the floor.
Yeah.
So maybe he had 2 side pieces.
Yeah. And because you could tell, like, and in that moment, that made me so mad watching it because that moment when that dude, that little fucking prick he just kept pushing him off. And the dude, Seven, was trying to be so nice. It was like Seven knew he was trying to save this man's life.
Don't want Maggie's going to kill you if you're being this unreasonable.
Yeah. I'm trying to stop. Like, I'm tired of this lifestyle. I'm trying to make a better life for us. And I just I don't want your whole garden hose, guy. I want a piece of it.
And I'm going to pay, and he said, I'll pay you double what it's worth.
And the dude just kept on pushing him off. And the
And
whole
on top
time,
of it, this guy is very clearly wealthy.
oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You
so
tell
like
the
the guard, he could have, if he wanted to get rid of them so badly, it wouldn't have been nothing if he was just like, go ahead, no big deal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, if I was as wealthy as him and these people knocked my door, you could clearly tell they have no money. They're fucking piss poor. And I've got 2 broads inside that I'm entertaining while my wife's away. Dude, take the whole fucking garden hose.
Yeah.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. And the dude was just being an asshole.
Yeah, it was a whole point of solely like
just trying
just
to
fucking with him.
Yeah, just trying to just degrade him and make him just seem like he was lower than what he already was. And in that moment, I'm just like, I'm watching it.
Get him, Maggie.
Going, just let Maggie handle it.
Yeah, yep.
Let's go, Maggie. Maggie, tag, you're it. I tried.
And apparently that's what happened because it just cuts to her in the room playing her little ukulele, and dude's fucking head is split open, and there's 2 dead women in there. But this was cool because I found her song kind of creepy. And of course, you know, they're also hanging around in this house.
Yeah.
They're like scavenging because the guy's very well off. So like they're all messing about this house while Maggie's playing the ukulele and singing. And at one point, they find a tie for 7. And that's when he grabs the mirror and he's holding the mirror, and then out of fucking nowhere, thwap, gets hit in his back with an axe.
Because leading up to that, I knew something was happening because there's a part where 7 asks Eve, like, did you move the axe? Did you move?
That's right. And I didn't even think of that at like until you just said that, but I remember him saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And and then like out of fucking nowhere, and it never explained who this was. And again, even in the credits, it calls her the Axe Lady because it was Lulu Adams who played her. So I don't know if it was a rich guy. Was it his wife? Did she come back?
No, I think dude may have more than one piece up in the house, maybe.
Maybe so, because I mean, again, there was 2 dead on the floor, so entertaining, bro. It was a party.
Because I feel sure I would think somebody in his level of wealth maybe could have had a maid or something. Maybe not though, but he was there slumming it because because all he said was, "Is I'm entertaining while the wife's away." So I got a feeling he had more than one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was having himself a real big party up in there.
I think Axe Girl Lulu was I think she just kind of may have been upstairs, or whenever the shit popped off, she was kind of nearby when it all kicked off, and she just kind of ran and hid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when she came out of that closet, dude looking 7 trying to look at herself, all dapper Dan'd up. Here comes fucking axe swinging bitch out the closet.
So yeah, so she attacks 7, and they hear this. So 7's in the room by himself. I believe Eve's in the room with Maggie when that happens. Am I wrong? Or are they just both downstairs?
I think Eve is downstairs. She has found some doll she's messing with.
Yes, she's taking pictures of shit like she's been doing.
Maggie has found this like tuxedo looking outfit.
That's right. Yes, I forgot she was wearing because she's got a bow tie on.
Yeah, she got a bow tie and shit. Looking all dapper.
Right. Yes. So Maggie Maggie runs up in there, but the Axe Girl, that's right. So the Axe Girl, she like tucks in behind the door. When Maggie runs in and sees 7 laying down there, this chick's behind her. And I'm honestly surprised because she goes to work. It sounds like and looks like on Maggie. And obviously, so like I said earlier, 7 was holding that mirror he had taken off the wall when she hit him, and it shattered the mirror. So Maggie's down on the floor. She's taking the axe hits. She eventually rolls over, and she's able to get a big ass shard of glass right through the axe chick's throat.
Yep.
And so she gets her, and it then shows Maggie on the floor, and Maggie has like an arm chopped off and a leg chopped off. So I guess she was just going through her arms and legs and wasn't hitting her in like the torso and back when she was hitting her with the axe.
Yeah, because when she came behind the door, and you can tell she kind of yelled because Maggie kind of looks back and throws her hand up, and she chops her hand off.
Yeah, you see it hit the floor first.
and then she just kind of gets on top of her. She's swinging, but then she kind of gets on her and straddles her.
Yeah.
And that's where Maggie's able to get that shard of glass.
Yeah.
And I did like the part where she stabbed her in the neck. You could see Maggie's reflection in the mirror.
That was very cool shot there.
Yeah.
Very well done. And so Eve finally gets upstairs and walks in, and it just shows a quick shot of Axe Girl dead and Maggie dead. Actually didn't even show Seven.
Yeah.
And so then it cuts back to Eve at the carnival. She's driving, she's at the carnival. So I'm like, oh fuck, because I was just like, I was like, holy shit, they're dead. And so now Eve, so I'm like, where's this going? I didn't even put two and two fucking together why she was back at that carnival. Well, she went back there and she fucking stole that box with the heart that Mr. Tips blabbed to her about.
Yep.
And she then grabs it and goes back to that house where Maggie and Seven are and proceeds to sew them, do the sewing thing. Well, so let me make sure I've got this right. Yeah, so while she's sewing Maggie's hand back on, that's when you realize Maggie's alive.
Yeah.
And I guess that maybe, I don't know if it had already brought her back to life or if she had been still, dying that whole time. I don't know. But that's when she says that her mother beat her little brother to death when they were kids because he lost the shoe. And she was like, but I was the one that lost his shoe.
Mm.
And because I put in my notes too, I was like, Maggie keeps finding shoes.
Yeah.
Because she found shoes randomly at different intervals. And
little kids' shoes.
Yes. Well, she finds one in a river while she's like washing some clothes. And then one like when they're like on this ice at a river. And that's where it comes back into play. And that's why you kind of, I put two and two together and was like, that must have been why Maggie and her sister were killing them. Because the mother had done that. And, the father, I guess, it didn't say for sure that he had done it, but I guess they figured he was compliant or at least, let it happen, or whatever. And then it cuts to Eve performing on stage. She has a new act.
Yes, sir.
And it's Zombie Maggie and Zombie Seven up there with her.
You can tell at first they did not expect it to go that way. Like the plan, it wasn't planned because when they start doing the same little song and dance, Maggie and Seven grab hands, and the next thing you know, Seven moves and it just like rips that hand off.
It's the hand that had been cut off.
That Eve has sewed back on.
Yep.
And the crowd kind of like, oh shit, what is this? And
because it's magic and
like,
whoa.
Like, oh shit, now we got a little something to our show right now.
Well, and it was funny because they didn't anticipate it, and Seven wasn't blindfolded. So when he saw it comes off, he locked up and like fell backwards.
It's like when you scare a goat.
Yeah. He just froze and just boom, dropped like a fucking plank.
Yeah. It's like he was not expecting it when he seen it. And
and then when they like do something at the end, the leg fucks up and like Maggie falls over and the leg's off and everybody's cheering. And so, like that could be their ticket. Now. That could be their ticket to the Buffalo show,
Yep.
And at this point, Mr. Tips is figured out that, he obviously the last time he cut his fingers off, he hasn't been able to put them back on. Yeah. He doesn't have this heart. So he's got fingers that are fucked up. And
he's starting to rot.
Yes, he's starting to rot. And was that when because that's when he talks to Eve, and that's when he lets her know that you're not doing it all the way because Eve can't talk.
Yep.
So Eve can't say the thing.
The where the devil roams. But can't say that part.
Exactly. And so after every performance and she's sewing them back on, Seven is basically like brain dead at this point. So he's revived. The best I could figure was that whatever happened to him had happened so long before she did the ritual that there was just damage done they couldn't come back from. Like when Mr. Tips does the ritual, he just cut his fingers off minutes earlier. And so when he does the ritual, they're back on and they're not rotting or anything like this. This, because she had her arm and shit cut off for God knows how long before Eve came back and did that spell.
And another thing is the fact of that heart that Eve could use to sew parts back on, to save lives. The one thing that thing couldn't do, couldn't fix the head.
No.
Seven was messed up in the head with the PTSD and everything like that. And so it just kept.
It seems to only be able to do physical stuff.
Yeah. And
like it can fix physical shit.
And so all this time you think that, the shit Seven has had to see. More than likely, he's had to see Eve sew parts back on to Maggie and stuff like that, but they just keep falling off. And so,
because they do another montage coming up, like how they did of the murders earlier. It's a montage of them doing the same thing, but they're doing the acts because they have to keep getting limbs.
Because one of the things, I want to see if you noticed it on one of them, because Maggie basically tells Eve at one point, like, this hand is bad. We're going to need a new one.
Yeah.
He's saying that we're going to have to, you can't keep sewing my old hand back on. We're going to need some new parts.
Right.
And so there's a part, remember, where she asked Seven if everything was good with the car. And he was like, the radiator's good, but somebody stole the spare tire.
Yes, because this is after they've done everything to the rich guy and they got the hose and he fixed it. Yeah. And someone took the spare tire out of the car while it was broken down.
And they found the lady. Did you notice in that part though, when that lady was there? Because you see Maggie and Eve there together. Well, then you see Seven in the background. He kind of steps to the side and you see that old lady tied with the gag in her mouth. Yeah. Did you notice that what she was tied to?
No.
She was tied to the spare tire.
I did not notice that.
Yeah. That's
fucking brutal. That is some fucking shit. Like, you can't even lie and say you didn't. We're going to tie you to it. Like, no, I didn't notice that, dude. That's gangster as shit.
And then that's the part though, where Eve is now steps up.
Yeah. She commits her first murder here.
Yeah.
Because, Seven obviously can't. And Maggie is just rotting. Like she can't. Because that's when she's like, hey, like, where was it? Because she says something about how she handled it real good. Because there was a line like, you got your smarts from your father, but you got your
sewing or some shit from your father, but you're sticking from me.
Yes, that was it. You got your sewing hand from your father, but you got your sticking hand from me. So she may have been her biological mother.
Maybe,
I don't know.
maybe.
But who knows? But yeah, she's sewing her up, talking about that she was doing that. But like, yeah. So Eve has now joined into it, and then you got the montage of them doing, they're traveling and they're having to kill. Now they have to kill people, and Eve is now having to be the one to kill them.
Yeah.
And she doesn't mind because it's now her act is successful. And did you notice that the film quality kept changing?
Yeah.
So earlier on, it's in color. And then as things are kind of progressing, the colors start getting duller and start getting more washed out to the point that it eventually goes pretty much black and white. Then you start getting a lot more film grain. Obviously, they were digital, but it looked good. They did a good job. They didn't overdo it. But I like that. And I put that, I was like, the quality of the way the film looks has degraded as our characters have degraded. And I did really like that. And I didn't know if you had caught that because it really starts showing up, around the second half. And then you really start seeing the changes in the third act where you could just notice that the film suddenly looks completely different.
Yeah, because when it's all led to now is now they've made it to the big leagues.
Yeah.
We finally get to the Buffalo show.
Well, and one last thing, because this does come up later. The last time we see Mr. Tips, there's a scene where Seven's just sitting there basically brain dead. Maggie gave him some milk. Somebody at the carnival comes up and is talking to him. And I think it was actually one of the clowns, but he didn't have his face paint on. And like took the milk from him, stole his wallet. Like he's just sitting there brain dead. And that's when Tibbs lets him know that, like, oh, you're in this state because Eve can't say these words, and tells it to Seven.
No, that happened at the Buffalo show.
Did it?
Yeah, because the whole scene where he's just in there in the little tent with the milk, and the dude comes and drinks his milk.
So is that just him getting pickpocketed?
Yeah, the dude just takes his pickpocket. Okay. But then the show kind of goes on, and then they've made it to the Buffalo.
Yeah, they're backstage.
Yeah, backstage.
But they're too fucked up. They're too rotted.
Yeah, because Seven's in the room by himself. And this is where Mr. Tips comes in. You can tell he's still rotten. He comes up to Seven, and he's basically telling him, like, kind of like, I know what's been going on, and, you know, nothing can be fixed because Eve can't say, and he says to Seven, the where the devil roams point.
Like those lines, because he's like she can't say it. Yeah, and fuck her, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, so I like that part because it was like, okay, for it to work, it's two parts, and each person has a part the other one needs. She has the physical heart, and he has the ability to speak. And if they could just fucking put it, they could all fix each other.
Yeah,
and he even said, like, I could fix it right now, but I'm not because fuck her.
Yeah, and because then it's showing Eve kind of getting ready for the show, and then she kind of hears something, and she goes in there, and that's where you see Maggie kind of laying in the corner, Seven's on the floor, and in that moment, the camera shit's cleared up again. Did you notice that?
Yep.
And she's basically came in there saying that, you know, you can tell she's trying to help Seven, you know, and at that moment, Maggie's falling apart. Seven is completely checked.
Yeah, he's just a body.
Yep. And then, you know, and in that moment, like, Maggie is trying to tell Eve to, like, just, I'm tired that we're rotten. Like, I'm tired of doing this. And basically, like, she's giving Eve the green light to just end it.
Yeah. She says that, like, this, it can't keep going on like this. And so, you know, Eve's kind of like, you know, basically, all right, yeah. And then Seven starts barely, very, very lowly, but whispering those words.
Yep.
That, so he did hear it. So there was some brain functionality going on at that point, or something. But either way, he says the words. And then it cuts right to the stage, and Eve is singing.
But before the stage though, you see this like this person walking down the hall and kind of looking
with the wings.
Yeah, with the wings.
The wings on. And that's Eve.
That's Eve heading to the stage.
Yeah, because when they look in, and so I guess it seems like their carnival got invited.
Yeah,
because that's why Tips was there.
Yeah,
what was it, Rocky or whoever?
Rocky was there.
Yeah, there. The
Asian
Japanese
lady,
or
Japanese
she's
lady,
there.
yeah.
So Eve. So we're watching Eve from behind, like in a first person perspective, because Eve keeps looking back at the camera that's behind her, and the camera will pan into the room, and we see Rocky, and Rocky looks like they're seeing something horrible, and so this keeps going, but it's just Eve. And so then, like, you know, they get ready, and then Eve goes onto the stage.
Because in that moment when Eve's going to the stage by herself, you know, you're like, okay, she fulfilled Mom's wishes because she's heading to the stage by herself.
Yeah. So you're kind of like, okay, what happened? And then, like, right at the end, she's singing, and she's now singing. Her song is the poem.
Yep.
So now they've got it figured out. Eve can recite it. She'll have to recite it through music because she can only sing. So now everything will be okay. But how is everything going to be okay if the bodies are already rotten? You may ask.
You may ask, but damn it, Eve
gets her Can Mary on.
Hey, yeah,
dude.
When the spotlight comes on, because you just see Eve singing, got her wings on, some new makeup on.
Yeah,
You know,
different
she's
look.
singing. She's singing the "Where the Devil Roams" poem, but in a song version. So when she starts singing that song, I'm like, so
okay.
Okay. But then
So she did hear all of it, so she knows it now.
She knows
so
the
now,
song.
but then my whole thing was like, okay, but and like really quickly before it answered it for me was like, okay, but then like, what the fuck can it do now? Like they're rotting. Like it doesn't seem. I don't know. Can it reverse that? No.
Like
it can't reverse that because spotlight up and fucking Maggie's head is sewn on to Seven's naked body.
Butt naked, casual cock body.
And they're now, the trio is now a duo, and they have a way for Eve to perform the spell for the rest of time.
Yeah.
And
Maggie's gonna be okay. She's got a new body.
Yeah, and that's how we end Where the Devil Roams.
Hey.
So anybody who's new, we do the fuck, marry, or kill, Jay. Who do you want? It's your show, so who do you want to do it first? Do you want to, or do you want me?
You can go first.
Okay. I wrestled with this. And honestly, the stuff I brought up, so it's a fuck for me. It's a fuck. I was between a fuck and a kill. All the things that I brought up earlier were still kind of, they kind of pecked at me throughout. That's just one. That's, again, it's stupid because it's really minute shit, but I'm the kind of person that notices that. And so it did kind of bug me. But throughout the time, because I only watched it a couple of hours before we sat down to film, and I'd never seen this before. But through that time, what I kept remembering of the movie, and I wasn't remembering those issues I had. Mm-hmm. There was enough good scenes in there so that even while I had that, it was a soft fuck coming into it. After having the conversation and getting a little different perspective on some stuff, it's definitely a hard fuck because I never regret. I don't think I would have ever watched it again, and now I may, particularly because I think I'm, everyone previous knows I do a lot of physical media too, and having that behind the scenes sounds like the price of admission to me. So I would like to do that. So I may rewatch it again after watching that. But I didn't regret watching it, so I couldn't kill it, even with the issues I had, because there was a lot of cool style shit to it. And again, it is up my alley because it is kind of an art house horror type thing. And the shit that it did right, it did very well. We got great practical effects in here. Some truly disturbing little sections if you're not ready for it. The arm amputation is one of them. Some of the still shots of the open like head wounds and shit like that. So yeah, it's a fuck for me. I would probably say I enjoyed, out of the movies that they've done, because I've only seen Hellbender, I would probably say I enjoyed Hellbender more than this one. Mm-hmm. I would have to watch Hellbender again to know, but I definitely recommend it. I could see some people really digging the vibe this movie has, because there's not a lot of shit like it. Yeah. But yeah, it's a fuck for me. But like I said, after kind of talking and getting your perspective on it and all of that, I feel much more comfortable. It's a fuck that I might fuck it again.
Very nice.
And like I said, next time I'm definitely gonna fuck it again if it brings a friend. If it comes over and it's bringing that behind the scenes documentary, well, we do a little three-way. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'll play ball. So what would you give it?
Where the Devil Roams, I fucking love it.
Oh,
I married this one. I watched it today before we got on here.
Was this your first time?
No, this is my third time watching this movie.
Okay. Now, would you say, before you go any further, would you say that it was a Mary the first time you watched it?
Yes.
Okay, so before watching the documentary or anything, you were all about it. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, when I got it, the first time I watched it was on Tubi,
Okay, because this is a Tubi original, right?
You can watch it on Tubi.
Yeah, that's where you can, and
for free.
And awesome. Who put that out? Does it say like a company who did that?
The Yellow Veil Pictures.
Okay, does it have any Tubi thing on it? Does it say anything about it? Okay, so cool. So because I know Tubi, I want Tubi to start doing that shit, and I want Shudder to do it more and stuff like that. I like that they're doing some of these the physical releases about it, but it was a Tubi original. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, but I seen it the first time after I'd watched The Hellbender, and it made me kind of dive more into the Addams Family, and I watched Where the Devil Roams, and the first time I watched it, I loved it, and then I ordered the Blu-ray. Watched it again when I got the Blu-ray. I did not watch the extra bonus feature until today.
Oh, okay.
When I rewatched it again today, I had some time. And I was like, I want to watch these bonus features.
Oh yeah.
And watched those. But yeah, from the first time I watched it, it was, and I don't normally get into anything artsy, really.
Yes.
Yeah,
because you're more like my wife, Joe.
Yeah,
she's the same way. Like y'all. There's almost every movie she picks on me for enjoying. You would pick on me for enjoying, and a lot of people would.
Yeah, and it was just something about it. I like the kind of dark, dirty, kind of gritty way it was shot, where everything looked kind of like grayed out and just seemed dirty and depressing. I love the music in it. Like
it's really cool because there's scenes where there's like modern like punk music, but then but it's like in the montages and stuff like that, or like when it's just supposed to be background. So it's very interesting because then there's also like Depression era music when it's supposed to be fitting in to the scene, and there's music going on. So yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, this one I had such a good, and like I said, I was excited, like, whenever you asked something to watch, because I've been wanting to do this one, and just haven't gotten around to it. But, and I would, once, if you get I feel sure you will get your hands on it. And
yes, I want to see that documentary. I love documentaries like that.
Watch the behind the scenes, because it literally is almost like a little document. What's that word I'm trying to say?
Documentary.
That word. It's almost like that, because when I seen bonus behind the scenes making of, I figured 5 minutes, little, but no, it goes in a lot of detail on it.
That's good.
And I'm curious if, I feel sure maybe it still will be a fuck for you after you watch the behind the scenes.
I get where you're going, and I'm curious about that as well. And that's another thing after us talking about it and now knowing that that's there. And like I said, I'm almost interested now in just going back, because I can't remember if I don't think me and you did an episode on Hellbender.
No,
but I remember watching that, and I mean, Hellbender would have been, to the best, because I've only seen it once, to the best of my knowledge, I would have probably married that one. It would have certainly been a very high fuck. Now, I really enjoyed Hellbender.
I did too.
And like I said, I really enjoyed this, but what was holding me back was just a few of the, and I think, and honestly, it may have even been one of those that, like, if I had watched this a couple of days ago and sat with it longer, because the longer I've sat, it was leaning towards kill. I was between fuck and kill, but it was leaning kill from the time I stopped. And the longer I've spent with it in my head before recording, I was like, okay, it's a fuck. Like, I had a good time. Fuck, I may not call you ever again, but it was a fun night. Like, I even told Joe, I was like, I might kill it. I was like, and that's when I told her, I was like, but I don't regret watching it, and I enjoyed my time. I was like, I just had some issues.
Yeah.
And so now with like having some of those gone, I think I would really like to do that. And that's probably what I do. And maybe on a future episode, maybe if I get my hands on it, and then maybe we'll do another, when the new Addams Family one drops, I'll try to see if I'm amending my fuck of this one on when we review that one, after I've got to see the features and stuff like that, because I do feel like it is one of those, because it is this, and I think that maybe that's why I was almost going at it too hard, because it is, when something is so up my alley, particularly when I got to do a recorded review, I try to be like, all right, don't just be like, yeah, it's awesome. Like, Skinamarink, I love it. most people shouldn't. Like
Yeah.
it's not. Most people are right. Like like I get that. And so that's like with this one, I think I may have went in being like, all right,
Yeah.
let's see. Are you, so I don't know. We'll see, man.
Yeah, and
but
that's
I
why- and
definitely want to see those extra features now.
Yeah, and that's why I said I'm curious to see once you get the Blu-ray and you can watch the bonus. I'm curious to see what your view of it is,
Yeah.
because I was marrying it the first time I seen it. Like it's just something about it that I just liked it, and
Yeah.
and then today watching the bonus things, it just took it up even more, because they do go so far into behind the scenes of, you see, and this is what I want to say about independent filmmakers. The behind the scenes on this one really gives you a look at the things independent filmmakers do
Yeah.
to give us these movies, and there's stuff like in the behind the scenes where there's stuff we're talking about saving $20 and $30.
Oh yeah.
It's one thing that could save $30. Let's just do that, because that saves us $30. And that's the type of shit that these type of filmmakers, independents, do. And that's why I'm such a huge fan of when independent filmmakers can do so much with so little, and the behind the scenes on this one even took me even more to like that. Like, holy shit, now I like it even more, because now I see what it took to make Where the Devil Roams. And so I'm super curious once you get a chance to check that out, And,
well, see, because I think it was because I was even in the same mindset when we did. If you guys haven't watched it, you should. The movie and our review when we did the Devil and the Daylong Brothers.
Yeah.
When I first started, because I knew this is a small budget movie, it's a period movie, and it was a musical.
Yeah.
All right, so none of that is cheap to do, unless you're like you're like one or two guys, and you got a guy who's a really good songwriter who's going to do, this is a passion project. Okay. And certainly anything period.
Yeah.
That's tough. You have to have resources. Even if you have money, you have to, sometimes it's not even about the money. Like, do you have the connections to get a certain vehicle you need or something, there just may not be that many of them. But the Devil and the Daylong Brothers, there was never that issue. This one, I think, and it was done purposefully by John Adams. Is it John?
John?
John, yeah. Okay. The Seven, the director. It was purposely done to bring in a little mixture of his modern day, like punk aesthetic into it.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, yeah, man. Like now, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like I'm mean. I'm starting to feel like I'm being mean to this fucking movie, dude. And I feel bad.
I guarantee you, the bonus features will make
but that was the one that reminded me of the most was the Devil and the Daylong Brothers, because I remember I started watching that movie and it was already at like a C-, because I knew it was a small budget movie that was a period piece and a musical. The odds were really against it not being fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
This one was not terrible either, but I think there was moments certainly in the beginning where, and honestly, I think that if that opening speech with the guy, the master of ceremonies, where he's reading that, if he didn't look the way he looked, I think that it was almost like the very first thing I had was confirmation for the bias that I went into it. I was already worried about them somebody with a low budget messing with a period piece. Then I get there and there is a fucking guy with face tattoos and facial piercings, clearly supposed to be in a Depression era setting, reading a poem in a very fancy theater. What the fuck is going on? And so again, it goes down the line and I think that maybe that was what it was I was already looking for something. The very first thing it did was give me the reason of what I was looking for. And then I spent the rest of the movie getting the taste rinsed out of my mouth by an otherwise very good movie, I think.
And that's a difference in the cool thing when it comes to movies, because like the way he looked in the beginning never crossed my mind. Not
Yeah.
once. Not once did I think like, oh, he's got piercings and tattoos. I was just caught up in this like little like flashback back to Frankenstein.
Yeah, and it was a great poem. It was interesting.
And so that's one of the cool things with like when it comes to movies, I always tell people all the time, watch it, have your own opinion.
Exactly.
What I love, somebody else may hate. What you hate, somebody else may love. And that's why I always say, never on this show do we come on here and try to sway anybody from watching a movie.
No, I always go back to when we did All Jacked Up and Full of Worms.
Yes.
One of the first movies that you and me both, I mean, literally went pretty mercilessly at it because we disliked it so bad. And even at the end, we were like, go watch it. Yep. Go watch it, because somebody read the script and watched the movie and liked it enough to give it a bunch of money and release it. So somebody likes this shit. It's just not, it was neither one of us. But I honestly, I want to review it because, like I said, I think that was one of the first things I was looking for was like, are they going to have the budget to not drop a fucking ball on this? And then, like I said, the first thing I'm like is, why is that motherfucker in the theater got face tattoos? Boo! but yeah, like I said, honestly, I mean, that's one of the only knocks against it. And then just trying to figure out, I do think that there could have been some stuff done to establish more of motive for why they were doing what they did, even if it was just an extra line or two about Maggie being, I can't stand rude people, or I can't stand when someone takes advantage of something like that, to give a reason for why Maggie is doing this, because it does pop up out of nowhere. Because it
did give that line.
Did I miss it? Where the fuck was I on this? Dude,
earlier on in the beginning, they're all sitting out there, and she's sitting there, and she asks Seven.
This is when they're at the fire. Are they at the fire? No, they're at the book. The Gnostics, when he's talking about the Gnostic Christians.
She's asking about those books, and she asks him what he's reading, and she says, and he's explaining it to her, and she says, I do not like, I forget how she worded it, but she said, I do not like those types of people, Christians, whatever. And then it rolls us into this montage. It starts leading us into it, because as he's explaining to her about the people in this book, she just sits there real cold, like, she's just like, I don't like those types of, whether it be these bad types of people that fuck people over or don't. But she did have that moment where she said, I do not like.
I give you that. Then maybe it was more or less like why Seven and Eve are going along with it, because I know that they're not. I mean, they're not technically going along with it, at least at first. Eve's not.
Yeah.
But Seven is, I mean, he's definitely, I mean, they're both of them would have went to jail for accessories, or being a part of it. So like I said, I do wish that, but again, I like I said, I think at this point I'm probably being too hard on it, and it probably deserves to be a Mary for me. Like I said, I think this is probably a case when I'm looking at it now that literally one of the biggest things I was on the lookout for was like, okay, it's an independent. And I also, like I said, I had seen Hellbender.
Yeah.
So I knew these people made some wonky movies. They get a little experimental with their shit. Well, now you're doing Depression era. So I'm like, okay. And then when that happened right off the get-go, I think, like I said, I think it may have just put me in a headspace of, at that point, looking, because I remember after that happened, when it's doing the scene after it rolls the original credits, and Eve's just walking, and like the old man's on the porch I talked about earlier that she took a picture of, and it just kind of introduces her walking through town and into the carnival and stuff. I was looking and nitpicking every house, everything to see, okay, it does it. I don't know. And then I remember when I was like, I don't know, did they have cinder blocks back then? Or did they look like that back then? And I think I got into it's probably like one of my autisms that I don't know I have. Yeah. Like everybody has an autism. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
I think this movie may have just exposed a tism that I have that I didn't know. That like, if you fuck up in the first 10 seconds, I am incapable of letting it go. Because like I said, the more I'm stuttering because the more I try to defend what I just did, the less I'm able to defend it. Every time I open my mouth, I'm like, you probably should have married it, John. Like, so yeah, dude. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with a fuck on it because that is. But I will say, yeah, like maybe whenever they get ready to do that other one that's supposed to come out, what was it? Something Flies.
Mother of Flies.
Is that it? I wonder if that's a Tubi. Do you know yet?
I don't know. I haven't looked into that one yet.
But yeah, like so if when that one comes out, maybe like we'll start off and be like, all right, any update on
it
this
will.
one?
It will. Well, apparently this one, what I was just reading on their website, the Wonder Wheels production, there's something about that said it's got it showing it will be distributed by Shudder in 2026.
Okay, because so for right now, it says, all right, so I'm on the IMDb for actual Mother of Flies. The release date was July 24th, 2025, but that was in Canada. And
I think it just hit the fan. It was the film it premiered at the 2025 Fantasia Film Festival.
Yeah, so I say some of them when they do the release date, quote unquote, it's technically a debut, and it's usually at film festivals. So they're actually so Shudder's going to be doing this one. That's cool.
That's what it says on their website, So
okay, so all right, so 2026 is when Shudder they're probably doing the circuit festival right now. Then if it just came out on the 24th, so what? That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it just literally.
So
on Facebook, John Adams, he had been posting about the Fantasia.
Gotcha. Yeah, so they probably got tons.
Like
they're probably going to be spending the rest of the year doing film festival circuits and cons and shit with it, and then doing the release. So, like I said, that's good. I'm looking forward to it. It's got a 7.9 currently on IMDb, which is really good. If you go back, this movie was a 5.4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.4, which like I said, I can see. So, I mean, so there you go. I mean, this isn't a movie that works for everybody, but like I said, I think it should have worked for me. And I just chased a squirrel really early on and I never fucking stopped. But yeah.
No. And that's the cool thing about it. Like when we get on here, like some of the things that like you notice that just kind of sticks with you from the get-go.
Yeah.
And then there's certain things that I kind of noticed that, because you was off on the side road chasing that squirrel.
Dude, yeah. I'm sitting there trying to figure out if that's an authentic cinder block underneath that fucking house. That's the kind of shit that went through my mind. I'm not lying at all. Like that one where she's first going into that house and it's sitting up on a cinder block, and that was me. I was like, I wonder if they looked like that back then. Did they have them back then? That's idiot. And that's why I said, I think honestly, like if I had watched this like 48 hours before we recorded it, I may have very well have talked myself into a Mary, because like I said, it was less than 2 hours from the time I finished watching this to when we started recording.
Yeah.
And I went from leaning kill then to already knowing it was going to be a fuck when we got ready to record. And then by the end of us talking about it, I'm like, all right, it's like a good side piece, like it's a road wife. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're a major sports, you got an out of town family, like that's what it's like. So yeah, it probably will, but yeah, I'll give an update on it, but I'm definitely going to track down that Blu-ray now. Cause like I said, I love documentaries like that. Sometimes I wish documentaries like that got their own release, but that's the way you got to get it. It's on the physical.
Yep.
But that's awesome. And yeah, and you told me some of the stuff like when they were talking about like shooting the tank.
Yeah.
Like how the tanks you said that like only one of the old cars in this movie was real.
Yeah, the car that
they're traveling in.
Yeah, that was the one that basically belonged to his dad. The rest of little cars that you could literally order off Amazon. And
so there you go. There's what an independent filmmaker, and there you go. Like that's the kind of cool. So that, like I said, I'm honestly I could rewatch it tonight if I wanted to on Tubi, but I'm really looking forward to getting that documentary, and I don't want to watch it again until I see that.
Yeah, watch the bonus feature on the Blu-ray, the behind the scenes making of it, and then rewatch the movie, because there's a whole lot of stuff that I could just spoil for you right now.
No, don't, because I'm
not. Yeah. But I'm watching it, and as I'm watching, I'm going, holy shit, like really.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you a behind the scenes look at the making of the movie, and it also spends some time talks about like Toby and John and Lulu, and kind of it literally could have been made into like a little documentary, really.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if anybody doesn't know, like, it's a fascinating thing. They're a family. It's a husband, a wife, and their daughter. That's the main one, who plays Eve. Sorry, her name's Zelda. Yep. They're like, they do the music together, and they all actually give themselves writing credits and directing credits when they do the movies. Again, Lulu Adams came in and played the axe girl in this one. So it's a very unique situation where you have a family that does this, but they're actually good at it.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the times you see this and somebody doesn't hold their weight.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have enough of Lulu. She played a very good axe girl. She was very good swinging that axe and acting crazy. But Toby and John and Zelda, I mean, they're all very good in front of the camera as actors. They clearly, I don't know who does what behind the scenes, but they're all very competent there. They all clearly must be good at writing, and they're good at the music. Like, it's a very, very unique situation that's just fascinating. And honestly, like, I think the next time we don't know what to do, even if I'm on the show with you or not, the deeper you dig and Hellhole, like, the rest of their movies, it would be fun to talk about them and stuff like that. But yeah.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Everybody should go check them out. Like I said, I remember really liking Hellbender. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to marry this one. This is going to be like the one that got away.
Yeah.
You know how it is?
Yeah.
Like, where you're like, I'm having, this marriage is okay because I should have married her and I didn't. I it's good. I got a good silver medal going here, but man, I fucked that one up.
Yeah.
This might be that. This is gonna be my runaway bride.
Yeah. And like I said, it was super cool to watch, and I'm looking forward.
Free. It's free on Tubi. You can support this. You can support this shit for free, even if you don't buy physical. Yeah, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. Yep. And it's very, very unique. And like I said, and I think you're right. I think Hellbender is on Shudder too, and I'm pretty sure that's how I watched it, was on the Joe Bob Briggs last drive-in episode. And if anyone's not seen Hellbender and wants someone from definitely watch it on the last drive-in. You would probably, even if you wanted to rewatch Hellbender, if you haven't seen that one on the last drive-in, you would like that just because of how much Joe Bob gets to talk to him, and they really go into their backstory, because it's a solid, there's an extra hour of just them talking, in between breaks in the movie. Very interesting stuff. And then, like I said, they do perform at the end of it and everything like that. But yeah, highly recommend watching it that way, because they're very fascinating because of them being a family, and they seem like normal ass people. Yeah. They don't seem too fucking weird. Despite all of it, they seem like just a family who loves horror and likes being a family and doing it as a family. And that's fucking cool. They're literally like a family of horror. I think it's dope.
Yeah, it really is. And like I said, I've kept you long enough, man.
Oh, I know. We've chatted. God knows how long this episode is going to end up being, but yeah, thanks so much for getting to come back. And like I said, it won't be, it shouldn't take anywhere near as long this next time. Hopefully there's no more issues, and I'm going to get a bigger clip-on green screen so that I don't keep rocking and doing this shit because I have some sort of weird shit with my legs.
No, it's all good. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Hey, family, I appreciate y'all stopping by. I appreciate you hanging out, shooting the shit with us. And hey, make sure you go like, subscribe, follow along. Like I said, we just put the new number out there, 500.
Yeah. Let's
get to 500.
400.
Yeah.
We're so close to 5 now. 5 is technically, if you were doing anything, you'd go like 100, and then like 200 or 250. 500 is the next milestone after that. So I say we shoot for that one. And yeah, man, like, just keep doing what you're doing, because it's, the channel growth is going awesome, and I hope to be able to contribute a lot more episode wise going forward here now that there's no renovations going on and I'm not moving anytime soon.
Yep. Hey man, look forward to having you back anytime. Like I said, if it was up to me, you'd be here every week, but I get it, but
if it was up to me, I would be too, because
yeah.
it's usually kids keeping me away.
Oh, no.
So it's I didn't find
good.
something better to do.
Yep. But hey, I don't know what's coming next week, family. I got a couple in mind. But just be on the lookout. Like I said, go like, subscribe. Don't cost you nothing to follow along. Go check out Where the Devil Roams. Go out there and show all the love in the world to independence, man. It's my favorite horror genre out there. Go show them some love, follow them. And but yeah, John, brother, I appreciate you. I love you. I appreciate you coming on the shit show with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Family, you know what to do. It's that time of the episode where I need y'all to reach over, grab your drinks. I need you to gather up all y'all shit. Go put y'all's chairs away, and y'all get the fuck out of here.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Monsters!
All you have learned is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein! Batman's gone mad!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick!
I ate his liver with some fava beans. A nice community. Business.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
Welcome to the debauchery.